August 27th, 2020. Happy birthday today to the Swindon supernova David Lockett, the inventor of the Powerbomb, Ian Powerbomb, and David E. Jigg, the winner of the first ever and last ever Loser Drinks a Pint of Gravy match. It was an abomination. But it was in the Tokyo Dome, so Dave gave it 5 stars. Here is your wrestling news. The NXT Championship has been vacated. An absent WWE star returns to television, and a former WWE star wants a long-term AEW deal. We'll talk about it in a bit. Big news out of NXT last night. After suffering a separated shoulder during his match at TakeOver 30, Carrion has been forced to vacate the NXT Championship. He came out at the start of the show, cut an amazing promo, placed the championship onto the ground next to an hourglass. He very much will be back. Devastating turn of events for Carrion and Scarlett. But if you thought their entrance was good when they debuted in an empty Full Sail, wait till they come back when there's people there. My days. So, what to do with the NXT Championship? Well, a decision was made last night on NXT and announced by William Regal that the NXT title will be decided in a fatal 4-way Iron Man match next week, pitting Johnny Gargano against Finn Balor, against Adam Cole, against Tommaso Ciampa. Now, get well soon, Carrion Cross. Genuinely gutted for Cross. Beginning of what was going to be something really special, now on the back burner. But that match next week, strap that to my veins! Balor, Gargano, Cole and Ciampa for 60 minutes? It's an A+ already. And we'll talk more about what happened on last night's NXT a little later on, including 2 huge title matches from last night's show. We'll go into everything and anything on NXT Graded a little later on today on the Cultaholic YouTube channel. And as we say, get well soon, Carrion Cross. As Cross and Scarlett stepped away, another guy stepped forward, one we haven't seen in a while, as Austin Theory made his return to WWE television last night. Last time we saw Theory, he was on Monday Night Raw. He was part of Seth Rollins and part of the Greater Good. And then sort of disappeared midway through the pay-per-view build for Rollins and Murphy and that. And we've heard different accounts of why he's away. The last time they spoke to Seth Rollins and asked him about it, they said that Austin was dealing with some personal problems and would hopefully be back sooner rather than later. He turned up on NXT last night, getting in the face of Bronson Reed, giving it the big brag about how he was on Monday Night Raw at 22 and how Reed, maybe he might win a belt at the age of 55, giving him all this, and then him and Bronson get into a bit of a back and forth. So not only does it look like Theory is back in the consideration, but it looks like he's back on NXT. This was quite a surprise because we thought, well, surely he's part of an angle on Raw. Is that the end of it? Well, apparently it is. It's when Paul Heyman was running WWE Raw, we know that he was a big fan of Austin Theory. Theory got the call up to Raw following an injury that left the Tag Team Championship match for WrestleMania in a little bit of a state. So they incorporated Austin Theory into Andrade and Angel Garza and Zelina Vega's faction. And then he got unceremoniously booted out of there, joined up with Seth Rollins and Murphy, and then just disappeared. And now he's back here as part of NXT. And when we know more about sort of what went down, of course, we will let you know more at cultaholic.com. Let's talk about an NXT alumni now in Samoa Joe, who has just been doing some amazing work on commentary for Raw, hasn't he? He's been a revelation. The question was asked recently to Dave Meltzer if Samoa Joe is done in ring. Is this the end of the line for wrestling for Samoa Joe? And Meltzer responded with probably not. For now, though, he does such a great job with announcing. He's doing this. He's also had a lot of concussions. I know that when he first did the announcing, Dave says, I was told it was temporary because he's too valuable a talent to have him as an announcer. But obviously minds changed. from when I was told to when they decided to revamp the announce team, and he's great as an announcer. In theory, he is supposed to wrestle again. So I would definitely not say no to a Samoa Joe return. I feel like they are planting those seeds for, if Samoa Joe's going to return, to be in there with Seth Rollins. They certainly did a lot of work on that over the last couple of weeks. And you know what? A Joe fiery out of the commentary desk, going for Rollins, be cool that. Joe is still a beast. Joe is keeping busy though. He's putting his vocal cords to good use, not just on the announce table for Raw, but also in video games. Suicide Squad is getting a video game release in conjunction with the movie. And whilst the movie has John Cena, the game has Samoa Joe as King Shark. You can watch the trailer for the game right now. And you know what? Joe's a good choice for King Shark. It's a very good choice. A top indie promotion set to make a return, Shimmer Women's Wrestling, has been locked out of doing shows in its home ground of Berwyn, Illinois for quite some time. But they put out a tweet yesterday saying it looks like it's going to be a while before returning to Berwyn becomes an option, likely next year realistically. In the meantime, we're getting a little something together for later this year in Indiana, which will also be an iPay-per-view. Details soon. Shimmer is not one of those wrestling companies that you sleep on. In fact, some of the biggest names in wrestling have come through the doors of Shimmer over the years. Sarah Del Rey was one of the first Shimmer champions. She is now one of the head coaches for NXT. And then you have wrestlers like Becky Lynch and Bayley and Ruby Riott and Natalya and Asuka from WWE and from NXT. Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai. I had to write them down because there's so many. Shotzi Blackheart and Mia Yim were part of Shimmer for varying amounts of time. From Impact, Rosemary, Jordan Grace, Deonna Purrazzo, Madison Rayne and Kylie Ray, Big Swollen Ali from AEW, and then loads of other like names from the past, present, and the future of the industry have been through the doors of Shimmer. So it's great to see them getting to a point where they're getting back up and running, because they're one of those companies that I think are going to have some big ideas going forward and are going to push ahead in this new world that we find ourselves in. And finalement, woo, woo, woo. Not my words, the words of 3 bored Ric Flair cosplayers. And the words of the artist formerly known as Zack Ryder, aka Matt Cardona. Matt was having a chat with Wrestling Inc. and they asked him about what his plans are going forward, in particular with AEW. Cardona said, "It's no surprise, I'm good friends with Cody. And it's no surprise he has a little stroke in the company, so it's kind of a perfect fit. You see, online, I haven't signed a long-term thing, and that's true, but I'm not there just to get a new t-shirt on shopaew.com. I want to win championships. I want to be on Dynamite every week. I want to be on the pay-per-views. So right now, we haven't come to a long-term agreement, but that's certainly my plan to be there long-term. It's just something that we got on a week-by-week thing for now, and hopefully soon we have something more long-term. I think he'd be a great fit for the future of AEW. He turned up at the end of Cody's title defense recently, and he just looked really good in there. I thought it was a great little shout. I mean, admittedly, took some of the shine off Warhorse, but I'll forgive him that. But hopefully Matt finds his way doing something cool with AEW. We know that his former tag team partner, Brian Myers, is doing some good stuff right now in Impact, so let's get Tafka Zack Ryder doing some good stuff on AEW telly very, very soon. Of course, AEW preempted this week. It's on tomorrow, so expect AEW Dynamite Graded with Jack and the AEW TF Moments with Ross on the Cultaholic YouTube channel tomorrow. Sorry, I mean AEW's tonight. Their videos will come out tomorrow. You were with me, weren't you? Yeah, you were. NXT Graded later today on the YouTube channel, though. You and I will break down everything that happened on quite a monumental episode of NXT. We'll talk about it on another video, shall we? Let's do that. Stay safe until then. Love you, bye.